Mr. Tim Burns. I think you'll like him. Give him a big hand.
Thanks, Terry. I'll tell you, it's great to be here today. You know, when you watch the television, you read the newspapers, it's very easy to get discouraged by what you see happening to this country. But when you come out to an event like this and you see a large crowd of American patriots, it is a true inspiration. You should give yourselves a round of applause. Today I stand before you not as a politician, not as an elected official, because I've never been in politics before. I stand before you as a concerned citizen, just like you. And if you're anything like me, you are upset with what you see happening in Washington. Yeah. But I have to tell you, for me, upset is an understatement. I am infuriated by what I see our politicians in Washington doing. The federal spending is out of control. Do you know that this year's deficit will be 4 times the all-time record deficit, $2 trillion. Now, $1 trillion is difficult to comprehend, so let me try and put it in perspective. You know, if you spend $1 a second, it will take 11 and a half days to spend $1 million. It will take 32 years to spend $1 billion. And to spend $1 trillion at $1 a second will take over 31,000 years. Now, I believe that what we're doing, this outrageous spending, is more than wrong. I believe what we're doing to our children is immoral. But here's what really gets me. You know, I watch these politicians come home from Washington for their summer recess, and they get on national television. They get on national television, and they criticize their own constituents. That's right. They get on television, and they criticize the very people that put them in office for what? For being concerned about a health care package that will not only affect us for the rest of our lives, but will affect our children and grandchildren for the rest of their lives as well.
For the better!
And these guys, these congressmen are so arrogant, they don't even think they have to read the bill. How insane is this? We have a bill that will affect this country for generations to come, and they don't feel it's important enough to read it.
Like the Patriot Act.
They don't want to read it. They haven't written it. They don't understand it. And yet they want to force us to live with its consequences.
That's right.
Not only that, of course, they refuse to be covered under the same public option that they say is good enough for the rest of us. Now, has anyone actually seen the bill? I don't mean on the internet. I mean physically seen the bill.
Yes.
Because I have it. Do you want to see a copy of the bill? Terry, here's a copy of this bill. All 1,100 pages of it. Now, it's no wonder they don't want to read it. But guess what? Guess what? It's their job. That's what we pay them to do. And you know what else we pay them to do? We pay them to listen. And we elect them to represent. But let's talk about health care for a minute. You know, there's no question that the health care system in America has its problems. Health care costs are spiraling out of control. They're increasing at a rate that exceeds the rate of inflation. And if this continues, at some point, none of us will be able to afford health care insurance. Regionally, insurance companies have established near monopolies and leaving consumers with little choice, and they have the ability to deny anything for almost any reason at any time. And unfortunately, there are a number of Americans that simply do not have access to affordable health care. And yet, even with all of these problems, America still has the best health care system in the world. America has the best, brightest, and most skilled nurses and physicians of anywhere in the world. And when it comes time to treating someone with a serious illness, There is no better place to get treated than right here in the US of A. Cancer survival rates are better here than anywhere. Just to give you a few examples, breast cancer survival, 88% higher here than in the UK. Prostate cancer survival, 604% better here than the UK. And I could go on and on, but you get the picture. So the question is, if this bill, this 1,100-page bill isn't the answer, what can we do? Well, I think what we should do is take careful steps that will move us towards solving the problem of health care without destroying what we have. For instance, 1,100 pages in this bill. Somebody tell me how many times tort reform is mentioned. 0. Not once is tort reform mentioned. And there's no question that frivolous lawsuits account for significant and unnecessary expenses. And I think that any health care bill should have a significant percentage of it dedicated to tort reform. Second, we need to level the playing field between big corporations and individuals like us. When corporations buy health care coverage, it's tax deductible. When all of us buy health insurance, it isn't, and that simply is not right. Third, we need to break up the insurance monopolies. We can do this by opening up the market to competition, allowing any of us to buy health insurance, not just from the couple of choices we have here now, but from anywhere in the country. And we need to expand the utilization of health savings accounts. Finally, we can handle the problem of pre-existing conditions by creating state or regional risk pools, just like exist for other types of insurance. These risk pools would be available to people who have pre-existing conditions and can't get affordable health care coverage now. Look, here's what it comes down to. America has the best health care insurance, health care system available of anywhere in the world, and I am adamantly against anything that would change that. One final thing. There's one final thing I would like to remind our leaders in Washington. They are only leaders if they can convince us to follow them. But I've got news for them. Look around, because we are not following them anymore.